What is up, all of you Ugnots and Jawas out there, and welcome to a new episode of Mando Talk, your home for the Acolyte spoiler discussions, reviews, and breakdowns. I'm your host, Caleb Keller, and joining me for another week is Zach Horvath. Zach, what up?
What up? Yeah, man. Again, always happy to be here. I'm so happy to be along on the ride for Acolyte for you. I look forward to this every single week, and can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely, man. Well, I have a feeling we're going to have a lot to work through and talk about with this one. And I'm hoping those of you that are listening are eager to get into this. We've got a lot to discuss. Of course, this episode 4 was titled Day. And I want to say it's got to be safe to assume that the theory of the whole title with the slash, like the two names, I have a feeling that's been debunked at this point, where it's like giving
Mm.
two titles for the two different twins. I don't really get those vibes anymore because we didn't have like a set perspective of one of the characters, either May or Osha, that we got into here. I definitely want to just go ahead and mention that while it was fresh off the top of the
I,
dome
I
there.
think it's going to be day, and then the next one will be night. I think that's
Oh,
how it's going to be set up
it
here.
could be because talk about a talk about the ending, but no spoilers yet.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
spoilers yet. Let's
yep,
share
yep.
our non-spoiler review. Um, there was a lot of dialogue in this one, more dialogue than I was hoping for. Because I know last week we talked about how we really wanted episode 4 to bring the action. We wanted to see the lightsabers, the fights, the battles. Eh, last bit, yeah, sure. I don't feel like that's really a spoiler. Enjoyed my time typing all the different things in, some character groundwork, some things I feel like are coming across as extremely obvious suddenly, and I don't know if I'm vibing with it. Hard to talk about that without hitting spoilers. The last bit of the episode, though, locked in. I was on the edge of my seat, but I didn't love the way that they ended it, if I'm being quite honest. And there's my review, though. Zach, how about you?
Yeah, easily my least favorite episode.
Okay.
Easily.
Dang.
Easily. And we'll get when I get into spoilers, that's where I'll be able to dig in deep here. But I have to phrase it like this. What this show has going against it is it's at the same time as House of the Dragon. Okay. So
Here we go.
if you've been watching the show, we a big House of the Dragon squad right here.
Yeah, we
Okay.
are. We are.
And when you go watch that show on Sunday, and
Mhm,
I get this show and this episode
mhm,
on Tuesday, it really shows the cracks in writing and themes and dial
mm.
and sets and everything. And
Yeah.
is that fair to judge one to one? I don't know, but in my mind, I think it is,
Okay.
because they're both streaming. This was like, this episode's like 5 minutes long, and so that is another thing. So non-spoiler, very much slipped for me here. Like, cause
Dang.
I'm
Okay.
riding high, baby.
Yeah,
I'm
you were
riding
loving
high.
this. I think you were
And
liking the show more than me up to this
I
point.
100%. And this just really didn't work for me,
Yeah.
at
Dang.
all. Yeah,
Okay.
very disappointed. Because as you said, everything we said last week, I feel like I got left wanting.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I feel like really where we left off, we're still there, kind of, other than obviously the big
yeah,
ending.
yeah.
Other
Let's get
than the
into
big ending.
spoilers and
Okay,
we'll
so
talk about that.
yeah, let's do our breakdown. Let's get into our breakdown here. And by the way, before I get into it, I want to say thank you so much to everybody that's been commenting and messaging and sending in tweets on the Twitter on X at Mando Talk. Keep doing that. I'm loving the discussion here on Mando Talk. At least so far, we are a very positive, constructive corner. If that's something that interests you in the Star Wars community, because let's be real, it is crazy out there with this show. If you are not loving the Acolyte, we can have that conversation. We do it respectfully here. If you are enjoying it, let us know what you're enjoying down in the comments on YouTube, or like I said, if you're on podcast platforms, keep tweeting. I'm loving that. Definitely wanted to get that plug in there before we get going. And also, if you're new here, if for some reason this is the first time you're checking us out, hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you are on to continue this journey with us. Again, a positive yet constructive criticism type of atmosphere. That's how we do it here at Mando Talk. So if that sounds good to you, do those things. All right. First things first here in this episode. The episode begins on Kofar, where Kelnaka is going about his day at his homestead. Inside, Kelnaka is cooking some grub, and on the wall, we can see some markings that look similar to the markings on May's forehead. We don't really get any explanation behind that throughout this episode, other than I'm assuming that Kelnaka is also yet again another Jedi that is thinking back to that night on Brindok and thinking about all the things that possibly went wrong. Am I reading that correctly there, Zach? Is that what you kind of got
You're
out of
right
those
on the
markings?
money. I took this as a Yoda situation where he's like in isolation or
Mm,
whatever, you know, a very Jedi thing. It seems like, oh, I did something bad or wrong. I'm gonna go hide in a corner of the universe. That's
yeah,
the vibes I got here, especially with
yeah.
the markings.
100%. All right. And we continue on, really just setting the groundwork for the episode, checking in with all the different characters. Now we're on Coruscant. Jackie is in the middle of a training session. As the session ends, she greets Osha as Osha is saying goodbye. Osha thanks Jackie for her help in proving her innocence and also finding May. Jackie questions why she is leaving as May hasn't been apprehended yet. Osha shares it is no longer her problem to handle, but in the Jedi's hands. Osha says the next time she is in Coruscant, she will link up with Jackie to share stories of Master Soul at a cantina. Jackie asks if Osha has said goodbye to Soul yet, and she says she has caused him enough trouble. This was questionable to me. It didn't really make sense as to why Osha was so okay with bouncing at this point. Like, you know, your twin is out there. And again, from my point of view, I'm married to a twin. I very much kind of get the look of like they're always both my wife and her sister are always staying in touch with each other. They're always wanting to know what they've got going on. They're always wanting to be a part of each other's lives. So that was kind of a disconnect for me. It didn't really make sense of why Osha would be just, yeah, whatever. Y'all got this now.
So this immediately was like, uh-oh, for me. I was like,
Uh-oh.
this is boring for me. And
Okay.
like
Yeah, because I
I
didn't really get
I
the connection
I
between these
started
two
like
characters.
falling asleep here. I
Oh
get it. They're
no.
both they're both they're both souls
Padawans. Yeah.
Padawans. That's the pull. This was out of left field for me. Like,
Okay.
why are you leaving? What? Why? What's going on? And going back to my House of the Dragon thing, this last time I'll talk about comparing here.
Yeah, we'll see. We love
Maybe,
House of the Dragon.
maybe,
We'll talk about it when we
maybe,
can.
maybe. The dialogue
mm,
was horrible for this.
mm, mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
just so blah. Just words, man.
Yeah.
Like, I just like I don't know. Has the whole season been like this and I've just been
Yeah, it
naive?
almost
Or
makes me wonder if you should now go back and watch
that's
the
what I'm
first three
saying. Like, has
episodes.
it all been this kind of horrible of type level of writing? Because, dude, this whole scene and basically this point forward from the
Uh-huh.
episode, the writing is so just storyboard
Mm,
journal writing for me. Like,
mm.
no emotion, just boring. I have to
Yeah.
say these things to tell you how I feel. I'm not going to act it out. I'm not going to be in a scene that I have to show emotion. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to say what I need to say. That's
Yeah.
what I felt this whole episode. I think that's my
Okay.
biggest gripe.
Okay.
I truly do. So,
That's fair.
to answer your question, yeah, I think this was kind of just blah for me. I
Blah.
was like, why are you
Whatever.
leaving? Why are y'all bros? Why is I don't okay, sure. Like at this point I wasn't, in deep like I was negativity there. I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's move on. What's gonna
Sure.
happen next?
Sure. Well, that's fair. And let's move on in our breakdown then, because there isn't really any other analytical thoughts to add to that. Again, I agree with you. It was kind of random to me that these two were having this moment, other than the fact that you nailed it on the head there. They are both the Padawans of Soul, so I'm assuming that's their connection. But it seems like Osha's history is more so with Yord than Jackie. So I don't know. It was whatever. Continuing on here, May and Chimere arrive on Kofar. May is eager to go and find Kelnaka, but Chimere slows her down, explaining the danger behind it. Chimere shares that he has been there before and has seen the Wookiee. Chimere says he did it before to help her. Chimere expresses that Osha being alive doesn't change anything and that she still needs to kill the Wookiee and Soul. There are 3 hours left of sunlight, and Chimere tells May to follow him. I will say I did, at least for me, I enjoyed the Chimere May moments. I have a feeling you probably didn't. But this scene and really every scene following, and we can probably go ahead and get into it. It's fine if we do. I feel like they're really trying to make us believe that Chimere is the stranger. Everything that he's saying, everything that he's doing, I almost feel like it's being slapped in our face that we need to heavily consider this dude is the stranger. And all
Well,
I'm
he's such
saying
a
is
doofus. It's
if
like,
it
why are you such a doofus?
if he is in fact the stranger, I'm not going to be happy with that reveal anymore because they've made it so blatantly obvious in this episode that that's a real possibility. Now, if it's a bait and switch thing, I give him props. But if it's not, oof, in my opinion. Anyway,
I
what do you think of this
I
first
agree,
scene
dude.
between the
Like
two?
this dude is a doofus to the highest degree. Like so much so that I think it's what you're saying. He's putting on this
Well,
act of
yeah,
being an
I
idiot,
think he's trying to come off as an idiot because he's
and
actually the guy.
I and that's
And I
so
just hope that's
frustrating,
not it
dude.
because that's such basic
It's I
writing, I
think it
think.
is though. I think it is. He gets left in the forest, like, but then like all I can think about is if he's we'll get there, but if he's the guy, like, what? Why? I just their dialogue here again, the
You didn't
dialogue
like it.
is my issue.
Okay.
It's so clunky, and
Okay.
it makes me so upset to feel this way because I've loved it so much. It's just
You
like
have.
I feel like someone else wrote this episode. Like some
Mm.
outside person wrote. I actually don't know who wrote it. I gotta be honest. Is
Yeah.
it all
I'm
Leslie?
That's a great question. That's a great
But
question.
like I just man, this was okay. This was better than the last moment. I agree with you on that in the sense of like I think May and Chimere, is that his name? Did I
Yes.
say it at least?
Yes,
I
Chimere.
think their moments are better, except for May's moment coming up soon.
Mm.
And this is where my distaste really exponentially grew.
Written by Jasmine Flournoy and Eileen Shim.
Okay, well,
The
I
only
don't
one
mean to
so far that's been written by Leslie Headland was episode 1, my favorite.
okay, I don't mean to disparage you guys, okay? All right, I'm just a guy, but very clear to me that it was oof.
Mm.
This whole episode, starting the last one, this one's a little better, I guess, but this whole like, oh, I went in there already. I know where the Wookiee lives. Somehow found the Wookiee. I know exactly where he is. You got to go get him, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
come with you and show you.
Yeah,
Well, all right,
it's kind of
all
just
right.
a slap in the face, I think, of yeah. Yeah. He's the guy. Again, I'm really hoping he's not. I hope it's some massive bait
He's
and
a good
switch,
guy.
but dang it. All right, here we go. Continuing on. Back on Coruscant, Sol is meeting with fellow Jedi Masters, showing them hollow footage of May in combat. A female Jedi named Holden is speaking with a Jedi that looks like Kiadi Mundi from the prequels,
It is
expressing that
him.
May lets her
Confirmed.
emotions guide her every choice in combat. And
Sorry, I got
yes,
hot.
in
Sorry, I got
the
hyped right
credits,
there.
yeah, no, 100%. In the credits, it confirms it is Kiadi Mundi.
Yes.
It,
Sorry, listener, to
that's
interrupt
fair.
him, but you gotta like, yo, yo,
No.
yo, that's
Yeah, yeah,
him,
yeah,
baby.
yeah. It was Kiadi Mundi. I enjoy that he's there, but it felt weird. I don't know why
Cool.
it felt weird.
See, for me, that worked. That actually worked for me
It
because
did?
that
Okay.
I was just like, okay, I guess he's like an alien dude that can live for a long time. Awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool.
100%. And
That's Star Wars for me.
I meant to look up what species he is because I feel like that's kind of important.
I won't lie, like I didn't know his name off the top. Okay, you guys know
Kiadi
me. I'm not
Mundi was
like
a force sensitive Syrian, Korean,
okay,
not Korean. That's too
probably
earthly.
not.
It's spelled Cerean. I'm gonna assume Syrian.
Ser Serene. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But no, I just it was one of those things like the Leo meme where he's like,
yeah,
"Hey,"
yeah.
or whatever. That's what I felt like when I was watching it. Because I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa."
When he popped up, I was like, Is that Kiati? There's no way that's Kiati." And it was.
It
Fair
is,
enough.
baby. I
Who would
love
have
it.
thought? Who would have thought?
I actually like it.
Not Yoda, but Kiati Mundi.
Well, shout out to the High Council and everything here, right? I
That's
mean,
true. That's true.
go ahead and
Yeah, let's keep
go ahead
talking.
and
Let's keep talking.
yeah,
The two begin to question Soul, seeking more information on May. Soul expresses that she has been trained by a master that she does not know and that she is afraid of. Holden asks if this could be a splinter order or something worse. Kiadi Mundi expresses that May could become a major threat, although Soul views her as undisciplined. Vernestra steps in and says, yet she eluded you and she killed two Jedi Masters. Vernestra is putting the pieces together as she declares she is targeting the four Jedi stationed on her home planet as a child. She finds this to be odd. Vernestra declares that she believes May has been trained by one of their own, and the hologram shows that. Kiadi Mundi says they must alert the High Council, but Vernestra says, and this is fishy stuff here. Vernestra says the High Council would be obliged to inform the Senate that a scandal like this would inspire fear and mistrust, and they should handle this issue themselves. Vernestra stresses that they must learn who trained May. She then orders Holden to extract Kelnaka from his post on Kofar and to intercept May. Okay. I did enjoy this scene. I will be completely honest. I enjoyed all the dialogue, and I enjoyed really the moment that Vernestra said, yeah, we can't tell the High Council because that's going to open a can of worms. Because again, that's something that I feel like is very included in George Lucas original trilogy, Star Wars, and prequel trilogy, that the Jedi were flawed. And this is one of those examples where they were flawed. They 100% should have told the High Council, because they 100% should have nipped this thing in the bud as soon and as quickly as possible. And obviously, something's going to go wrong to where that doesn't happen, because we end up getting the prequel trilogy, folks. But that was by far, this is my favorite moment, at least of the dialogue heavy first 20 minutes of this episode.
agreed. Agreed. I
Okay.
gotta agree with you here. Like this is easily way better than whatever we just got in terms of dialogue. Um, and I thought this just all made sense to me. It
Mm-hmm.
was everything we've kind of predicted, and I think I've
Mm-hmm.
already said, hey, they're keeping this on the hush hush. They ain't
Yeah.
telling the High Council because number one, it's gonna make them look bad. Also, Vernestra, I think she knows something bad went down here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably gonna fall back on her, right? You got,
Oh, yeah.
your manager finds out you did something bad, it's gonna fall on your manager. So going back to the kind of the police analogy I've been kind of pushing through this whole thing, which in my mind, I think that's exactly how they're writing them,
Mm.
with police in mind. As I've said before, there's dirty cops everywhere. There's bad precincts. There's bad, areas. This is going to happen. Uh-oh. This thing bad happened. Well, we can't tell the judge. We
Mm-hmm.
can't tell the captain because that's going to be bad for everybody. I think that's the case here, and I was so happy to hear her actually say this
Mm.
because it kind of takes everything into account. People are like, "Oh, well, why didn't they know about all this stuff?" And you notice they don't immediately go Sith, by the way. They say Splinter and then they say
Yeah.
something
It's a good
worse,
point.
which
It's a
I
good point.
think was a perfect kind of wording there to not say Sith, but be like, "Yo, what really is going on here?" Because
Yeah.
this looks bad, right?
Yeah.
We've got this awesome who we thought was dead sister of a Jedi who's doing this crazy stuff. She's
Mm.
murked two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, think if it's cops. She killed two cops, really. And she now doesn't know who her master is. Like, very, very shady, red flaggy. You know what I mean? I just think
100%.
when you think about it in that regard of like real world,
Yeah.
bad. It's bad. Like,
Yeah.
we've got something bad going on here. I really liked Vernestra kind of taking over and being like, yo, look, here's what we need to do. And Soul, I don't want to say he's naive. Um,
Mm.
he's,
I
and I
still
don't want to
think he's
say,
just. I still think he's just trying to hide something. I think he feels
I
guilty and messed up for
I
something that
think that's what
happened.
it is. I think that's the better way to say it. Like that's what I mean. There's something going on that we obviously still don't know about.
Yeah.
Um, and so I really like the scene. Yes, I really
Yeah.
did. And the high council name drop was beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, the scene kind of continues as Soul and Vernestra leave the room. Vernestra asks Soul why he didn't tell her about this. Vernestra wanted to be informed 16 years ago that there was a chance that May survived. Soul says if he thought there was a chance, of course, he would have told her. He believes no one could have survived that. Soul wants to be the one to bring May in. Vernestra is hesitant to allow this due to his personal connections to the situation. Vernestra fears that May is a small part of a larger plan by her master, a plan that is difficult to see, a plan that is designed to shift the scales. Soul then says if May resists arrest and Holden neutralizes her, then her master will truly be lost to us. She will not surrender without getting something in return. Vernestra believes it won't come to that, but questions if they have something May wants, and Soul shakes his head. Yes. I'm assuming that's something that May wants would be OSHA.
Correct.
Okay. I was questioning what that head shake meant there as I was watching. But I enjoyed the fact that Vernestra was kind of frustrated with Soul here. I like that dynamic between the two, that it wasn't so, oh, we're good with each other the whole time. I like there's a little bit of confrontation
Oh,
between
she's
the
mad.
two.
She knows he ain't telling everything.
Yeah.
She
You
knows
think so?
something will happen. That's the vibe I got is
Yeah.
she's looking at him like, "Are you gonna tell me now or what?" Right?
Mm,
Like, I need to know, and I know something happened.
mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I got, kinda like
Mm.
your mom or whoever being like,
That's fair.
"Yo, I'm gonna find out, so what's up?" But
Yeah, and we need to
obviously
remind ourselves Soul was the Padawan of Vernestra, correct?
correct.
Yeah, so she's got
Correct.
to be able to read him like a book.
100%.
Got to.
100% agree.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I like this
Next.
moment. I thought it
Yeah,
was cool.
it was good. It was good.
And then you had the little people over there, eavesdropping in,
Yeah,
don't
they
forget
were.
that.
They were. And
They were
just randomly, I guess Vernestra just cuts Holden the plan that she had for Holden because I mean, obviously Holden wasn't there on later in the show, I don't think. Or
I don't
obviously
know.
Kiati Mundi
I don't
wasn't
even
there
know
either.
who. Oh,
Holden
yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
female that Kiati was talking
Got you,
to.
got you. Yeah, I guess, yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
"You're out."
Yeah. Whatever. We're gonna give this a soul, even though he continues to mess up
And
somehow.
he's, like, super close to this. She even says that, like,
Yeah.
"You being close to it doesn't help anything." But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Questionable decision there, Vernestra. Oh well. Oh well. All right, moving on here. On Kofar, Chimera questions how you kill a Jedi without a weapon and believes May's master is just testing her in some way. He specifically asks if you engage without a weapon, if you disarm them, can you use their weapon? That's something that we had kind of been talking about a couple weeks back. And again, if Chimera is the dude, I feel like we're getting kind of slapped in the face here, some more here. He just wants to know how May is going to kill the Wookiee without a weapon that her master wants her to. After May questions what kind of deal Chimera made with the master, Chimera says he just owes him and that he collects people. May asks if Chimera has seen his face, and he says, "You know I haven't." They walk upon the perimeter, which allows the conversation to conveniently end. May can't believe that Osha is Jedi scum. She asks how she was, and Chimera says she seemed over her head and that she was fond over the Jedi Master soul. Again, um, I feel like this scene is laying the groundwork, the obvious groundwork that Chimera is the master. I don't really feel like there's anything else. What do you
Nah,
think, Zach?
we're back to Clunk here. The Clunk has returned. Um, it's just like, okay, so taking out what I said I wouldn't talk about, let's talk about Andor for a second, okay?
Ooh,
They
okay.
have both they both had moments where people are walking through grass and
Hmm.
talking.
Hmm.
Andor, I am out on the edge of my seat every word.
Sure.
This I was literally on Twitter. I found myself
Oh
getting on
man.
Twitter, which is like worst case for me. That's my litmus test of where am I at in a show? If
Yeah.
I'm pulling my phone out and I'm on Twitter and I didn't think about it, not a good sign. Okay.
Mm.
So that's where I'm at whenever I see this starting to go down. I actually am glad you took notes because I kind of forgot
Oh
what they
no.
talked about here. Like legitimately. I was just like, "Oh god, here
Yeah,
we
I
go."
can't pull up
I
Twitter. I got to be typing away too much.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. You're doing I rely on you here on this one. I did like she said Jedi scum.
Yeah, that was cool.
I did like that writing moment. I thought that was cool. And other than that, eh.
Yeah.
And May kind of like looking longingly and asking about OSHA.
Yeah. They're laying the groundwork for a potential um
Don't even start.
what's the word? Why am I blanking on it? Why am I blanking
Uh,
on it? Turning good.
redemption?
Redemption. There we go.
Yeah,
Redemption.
yeah. Let me go on a rant when we get there in a second.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Moving
uh,
on, man.
I'm so and trying not to be negative, guys. I promise you.
Yeah, no,
If
no,
you've
I
been
don't think you're being
listening,
negative. I
I've
don't
been the
think you're being
positive
negative
guy.
at all.
I'm disappointed. I'm
Yeah,
disappointed.
that's fair. It's okay to feel that way, but I don't think you're being negative. You're just being real.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Good.
Just that's the motto. Be real. You're not
All
being
right.
positive or
I
negative.
can't
Just
lie
be
to you
real.
guys. I can't lie.
All right, back on Coruscant, Soul finds Osha, who apologizes for leaving without saying goodbye. Soul asks for her help and that he needs her to come with him on this mission. Osha asks if he wants her to rejoin the Jedi. She gets super excited, and Soul says, not officially. Soul only needs her to get May. Osha says she can't go. Soul expresses that he believes that there is still good in May. As her expression changed when Soul told her that Osha was alive, he believes that she still loves Osha. Osha pushes back and says she is a murderer, and Soul delivers Soul delivers the dagger by saying, "But she is still family." And this quickly makes Osha suddenly agree to join. Did not love that in the slightest. She is
No,
so
Keller.
hesitant to go the whole time. Oh,
No.
she is family. Okay, I'll go.
No.
That was
We're
not good
slipping.
writing. That was
We're
not
slipping.
good.
All right. We've started rolling down the hill here. Bad.
Also,
Hated this scene.
clearly they're laying the groundwork for May coming back to the
Oh,
light.
hated this scene, man. I okay, so I did like when he said or she said, "You want me to join the Jedi?"
Mm.
And I liked that moment. That was a
Yeah,
character
she lit
moment
up.
where
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh, I get to actually be back." And he's like, "Yeah, no." But I kind of like the characterization of Soul here too because as much as we've talked good about Soul, he's using May or Osha as bait. Like,
100%
literally. And so that's kinda that's kinda, that's a little sketchy, a little
weird.
dirty there, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like, hey, that's kinda menacing, and the fact that he's like, "Yeah, you're just a civilian, come with us," right?
Mm.
I don't know, that I liked that moment, but everything else after that, I felt good in her. Here we freaking go, Keller. No, no, no. Give me bad people. Be bad. May
Yeah,
was gonna kill her sister. She's gonna murder her, burn her alive.
I agree.
And
I
here's where
agree.
we are. Are
I
you
agree.
kidding me?
If now
That makes me wanna barf.
there's a chance that she stays bad, right? But we'll
She
see.
was giving herself up to the dadgum Wookiee at the end. There's no chance.
All right, we'll
And
talk about it.
I said, "I ain't watching this ever again if there's redemption." I'm pretty sure I said that.
You said you weren't watching the show or Star Wars ever again.
I did I say Star Wars? I think I said
I don't
Star Wars.
remember. No, no.
I'm serious, dude.
I thought you
Like,
had said that if one of the witches was the Sith.
oh, I don't remember. I said something ridiculous like
Yeah,
that,
you probably did.
and this, like, this made me remember it because I was like, "Oh, no."
Oh man, this
Because
isn't
it's gonna
good.
happen.
I think it
Why?
is.
Don't make her be good.
Yeah, you
She's
remember
an evil kid.
earlier this week. When I say earlier this week, I mean like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it's only Tuesday. We're barely into the week. I texted you and I said,
Yeah.
because we're in the summer TV. I
Yeah.
said easily the boys is in last place.
Yeah, and I agreed.
But we talked about how the boys could quickly turn it around while the Acolyte could quickly go downhill. I feel like we're going slightly downhill all of a sudden.
Slightly. No, dude, the plane went
I'm
down
not in
this
crash yet.
time.
I'm not in crash yet.
But no, I mean just this specific episode.
Sure. Yeah.
Not the season, not even the series. Like
There's some
I'm not
turbulence.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not even anywhere near that.
Yeah.
I'm just talking specifically about this episode
I got you.
because, if you're 3 for 4, you're in the Hall of Fame easily. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
100%.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
I'm just talking specifically here, but
Great sports analogy.
but
Hmm.
the seeds they're setting are
Yeah, they are.
blech for
They
me.
are. They are.
So yes, I very much did not like this at all.
Yeah.
It made Soul seem weak to me, made him seem like kind of a user, which again I think I'm okay with. Um, and OSHA, I like the Jedi moment, but other than that, everything he says after it, hate for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, moving on. Jedi, including Sol, Yord, Jeki, and Osha, are flying through hyperspace toward Kofar. Yord shares some intel to the group that the Order has not heard from Kelnaka in over a year. Pip meets a creature and squirts the creature with water. After Pip senses the creature sniffing it heavily, the creature's name is Basil. The ship arrives on Kofar. In this scene, we see a Jedi that looks similar to Plo Koon in the background, but there is not a confirmation of it actually being him. So I'm going to assume that it is not him because we probably would have gotten a credits mention just like they did for Kiadi Mundi. So just a similar creature. That is all. But this scene was really designed to introduce Basil. I really dug Basil. I feel like the character is very on par with Star Wars creatures. I like the playfulness. I like the fact that it's got a different language. Thank you for not giving that creature speaking basic English.
Huttese.
Gosh, that would have been so annoying if they had given him basic language.
Oh, that's true. I agree with that. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I agree with you there. I
I'm
like
glad I'm glad we
Basil.
got some a fun creature here.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. Again, they're the police. They're gonna have these trackers.
Yeah,
Why would they not
and
have
which
them on deck?
in this moment we didn't really get. Okay, what's this dude doing here? But yeah, later
Well,
they
yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah, yeah, yeah.
reveal.
Well,
Yeah,
and to be fair, in this moment, I'm like, who's this random dude or
sure.
who's this cat?
Just like OSHA,
But
OSHA's like, what the heck is this
yeah,
guy?
yeah. But I just yeah, all I got really was from this was Kelnaka's been you know uh
Hush, hush.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of, like, what you would call that, but he's been out.
yeah.
MIA is the word I'm looking
MIA. There
for.
you go. There you go.
MIA,
It's
for over
almost
a
like
year.
he's in hiding, honestly. But
But
like the
why
Jedi
just a
know that
year
he's
ago?
there. Yeah, that's a good
What
question.
happened a year
Why
ago? Like,
just
I
a
don't think
year
we're gonna
ago?
find out, but,
I mean, probably not. Your
yeah.
boy's been sliced.
Yikes.
We'll get there. All right.
Yep.
Jackie questions a local with a cool translation device. That was pretty dope. Yord tells Osha she needs to hand over the blaster. Osha says it is hers. Yord says it's actually the property of the Jedi Order and insists that she hand it over. Jackie shares that Kelnaka ventured into the forest and never came back. Osha questions how we find him, and Yord says they have a tracker. Yord hands a piece of cloth to Basil, and they begin their search. So that's when it was revealed that Basil's there to sniff out Kelnaka. Let me backtrack. When Yord is saying that the blaster is it's actually the property of the Jedi Order, officially he's not working for me anymore. Yord, the character, is not working for me. I know that there's a thing out there, there's like this massive push, Yord
Yord
Horde.
horde. Get
Yeah,
out of my
he's
face.
just not working for me, guys. Not anymore.
In
He's
this in
way
this
too much of a
episode
tryhard.
in this episode, it was the writing was bad.
Yeah,
So,
he
he
was
was
too
bad
much. He
because
was
you gotta
way too
nail
much.
that guy. You know what I mean? Like, when he's playing this Hardo character, he was more endearing before,
Yeah,
and
I
here
agree.
it's like, "No, dude, chill, bro,
It
please."
just feels like after episode 3, or excuse me, episode 2, whenever they had the confrontation against May and Osha played her part, like you should trust her more at this point.
She was in the Jedi,
Yeah,
right?
like y'all were apparently best
Like,
friends as
dude,
younglings.
chill, my guy. Like,
Yeah, he needs to
I get
he
it.
needs to
So,
chillax.
just to give y'all a Twitter status update, Twitter back up at this point. I'm back on Twitter because 'cause I'm
Okay.
sleeping through this.
Oh no.
Yeah, 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 100%,
That's
100%.
fair. That's fair.
I
It,
saw the tracker situation, but everything else, don't remember
okay.
because yikes.
Well, again, let me backtrack. I did really, really, really enjoy that translation device that Jackie was using.
Don't even remember it,
Golly,
so
man.
I'm telling you how it is, baby.
That's fair. Be real.
I
Be
was
real.
I was probably reading something else, I don't know.
All right, here we go. Yord then reveals that he can understand Basil as he decided to learn its language during training instead of the typical Shai-Rook. I think I said that right. I can't, that's the language that the Wookiee speak. Osha asks if he believes May can truly be saved. Yord believes in Soul and that he must have reason to suspect May will listen to what Osha has to say. Osha says if May does not listen to her, that he needs to step in and handle it. Yord says May has always been Osha's wound ever since they were younglings. Yord shares that maybe Soul brought Osha here to face May, or maybe for Osha to face herself. Okay, this was boring.
Ah, Twitter's still up, dude. Like, God, the
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't
right.
great.
Man, so frustrating
Again,
because
Yord
this
just
could have
wasn't
been
working
cool.
for me.
This could have been a cool moment. Like, hey, maybe he's bringing you here for something special or something more, and then
Yeah.
just leave it We don't
Yeah.
have to get a dramatic like
For
play
sure.
with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know,
I
man.
agree. There isn't really anything to add to that bit.
I'm at peak, "This ain't working for me"
Ooh,
episode at this point,
okay.
okay? I'm
All right.
getting very frustrated because I know this is a
Yeah.
really short episode and we're
Mhm.
coming up on the end.
Yeah.
I wanna make a point to say, I never check the time. I
Okay.
know people do that. I don't know if you do that. That's
Oh,
okay
I
for
do.
you?
I 100%
Oh,
do.
I never check the time. I always very much want to not know where we're at,
Yeah.
because then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, no. We only
Mhm.
got 5 minutes."
Sure. Sure.
So, like, I'm very much a not checker. So I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? Throw it in the comments. I wanna know this because my wife is the same as me. She does not want to check. We treat it like a movie, I guess, "Hey,
Mm,
I don't wanna know how much movie we got left." So, I don't know.
that's fair.
That's just
I
an
like maybe
interesting
I should try
question.
that. Maybe I should try that next week.
Oh, dude, I don't know how you do it with knowing the time. That seems very stressful for me. I think it's way more enticing to
That's the
just
first
drink
thing
it
I look
in and
at. I look at the title of the episode and how long it is.
okay, so I do that. I do look at how long it is. That is fair. I do look at that. I'm talking about while watching. I
Oh, no,
don't.
no, 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 no. I don't look while watching. No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. Alright.
I
So
thought you
that's what I'm
meant you
talking.
don't look at all before and you just go
No,
in.
no. I was talking about, like, while watching, like, "Oh,
I
I'm gonna
got you.
check it. How much time is left?"
Okay,
kind of
I
a
got you.
thing.
I got you. I got you.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. All right. Well,
Alright, so
let's
I'm
move on
falling
to the next.
asleep on Twitter here. Keep moving.
Well, let's move on to the next scene. On their hunt, creatures called umbra moths are nesting on the trunks of the trees in the forest, and one of them awakens and begins to fly around, screeching toward the Jedi. I have a feeling you're not going to like this. It flies right at
Dude.
Soul once he ignites his lightsaber. As it seems, they are attracted to light. And at this moment, I was like, are we really going to bad batch this episode?
This is the dumbest thing I've seen all month. Okay. This better come back to be important that they're attracted to light. It better come back.
These umbra
Okay.
moths. Well, I mean, think about it. Maybe next week, whenever they're all fighting, we get chaos ensuing. That'd be cool.
It better come back. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like this is so dumb and such a waste of my time at this point. I was peak mad here.
I think the
Okay.
next scene is trying to explain why it was important, but it
Oh,
didn't
you think
really.
so?
It didn't stick the landing.
Maybe
It
I don't
didn't
remember because
stick.
I was asleep because I was so mad at this. I'm like, what are we doing? Oh, I almost texted you at this point because, as you guys know, we do not text each other. This is
Yeah.
fresh, me and him talking. I almost broke our code and was like, "You got to get on right now so we can talk about this." I
Oh
haven't even
no.
finished the episode.
Oh
I was
no.
so frustrated, dude. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let's just go ahead and talk about the next scene because I do feel like it is supposed to explain why that happened. I think it's designed to try to make Osha's Jedi instincts kind of kick in, but here we go. She says that she was able to sense the creature, but she disturbed it and now it is dead. Osha shares how she has never been able to accept death as a true Jedi should. She can't accept what she lost and how unfair she felt, the resentment she has felt for her sister, but how she still misses her. Jackie responds by saying, "We are not defined by what we lose, but we are defined by what we survive." Yeah, I'm assuming that just did not work for you. Again, I feel like the point of it was to show that Osha has that Jedi instinct of being able to sense what
You're
creatures are
right.
feeling.
You're right.
That's what
You're
that
accurate.
scene, that's what the purpose of that
But I
moment
sure
was.
as crap did not walk away getting that from this scene.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know that until I read it in your notes. Okay.
Because you're on
All I
Twitter.
got from this
Because you're
was
reading House of the Dragon stuff on Twitter.
what? Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. No, like legit, I was watching. I say I'm on Twitter, folks. Okay, I'm still watching it. I've got
Yeah,
them
yeah,
up.
yeah. No, I
Um,
got you. I got you.
but I heard that line at the end. Now I'm sure people are gonna love it. There's gonna be some people that are like, "Oh my god, that
It's a
meant
good
so much to
message.
me."
It's a good, meaningful message, but not to you.
Horrible, horrible, horrible to
Oh,
me.
no.
I just was like, so why we gotta get I don't know. I don't know. I
Well,
think if Soul said it, it would have been
it's like
different, right? It's
2
the delivery
inspiration
of it.
2
It's
inspirational quotes within 10
yes.
minutes. It was
Well,
kinda
also
too
like
much.
that one is one you would like put on a sign. Like
Mhm.
that's how cheesy that felt to me. It's like,
Mm.
come on, you can do it. Like that kind of cheese in this scene that meant nothing to me about this stupid bug that Soul had to like turn his
Oh
lightsaber
man.
on and kill, giving their position away. Don't
Yeah.
want to bring that up. Like I just
I think
this whole woods situation kind of topped it off for me.
okay.
Like if that I'm trying to give the line props because it's not a bad line. Okay,
I
it's the surroundings of the line and the delivery of it that made it icky for me.
I
If that
think
makes
it's
any
I
sense.
think it's very clear here. I think you've been House of the Dragon 1000%.
Yes, I told you. That's why I prefaced the whole thing with this. It's
I
like
think if you go back and watch the first 3 episodes, you're
I
gonna
think you're right.
realize these moments have happened throughout the whole
I don't want
thing.
to do it. I want to be naive, man. I want to
Well,
be
it's
naive.
hard. I mean, you see Peak, you expect to
In
see
House of
Peak,
the
and you
Dragon,
want to see
she
Peak.
doesn't talk for like 45 minutes. She doesn't say one line of
Mm,
dialogue, and it's more emotion than this entire episode, this entire season. Okay.
yeah, yeah, mm,
And she says like one line of dialogue, and I am just locked in, baby.
yeah.
And we get this, which has been I've had to like take notes and write paragraphs on how much exposition there's been, and it's then given us this, and I'm like, "Ugh,
Yeah, but
man."
maybe overall, the dialogue, it just seems like we're getting to this week, the dialogue just really didn't work.
And what sucks about it is this episode is dialogue. That's
Yeah,
why I think it didn't really work for me because 95% of this episode is them talking, and
it
the
is.
talking is what I had an issue with.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Ah,
All right. Well, I will say after this is when the episode gets interesting, for me at least, and it
yeah, go
cranks
ahead.
up. Here we
Mhm.
go. Chimera and May are racing toward the Wookiee before it gets dark. May, to the disliking of Chimera, demands to rest as she has to fight a Wookiee after this hike. She shares that the Master calls the requirement of killing a Jedi without a weapon the final lesson. He says your final lesson is one you teach yourself. You will kill a Jedi without a weapon. May says attacking a defenseless person goes against everything the Jedi stands for and questions how do you kill someone like that unarmed. She says it is not a test. It is impossible. Chimera says it is not impossible. May says she wants this more than anything, but still believes it is impossible. She says if she doesn't do it, the master will kill her. Chimera says he cares and that she is right and he will go find her more water and that she is losing her nerve. Suddenly, May stands up, seemingly appears to make a move in some way as she grips a strand of rope. I enjoyed this moment. Again, let me be real. I dug it. You probably didn't, though, Zach. Didn't work for you.
Just horrible writing. It's
Okay.
impossible. It's not impossible. It is impossible. I promise you, it's not impossible. That they said impossible 5 times.
Yeah, they probably did.
And I'm not nitpicking. I'm just telling y'all, this is how I'm drinking it in. I'm like and I'm already
Sure.
probably in, like, a negative headspace
Yeah,
because I'm
you are.
just so frustrated. So I'm listening in more intently, which is then frustrating me more. It's like this vicious circle. But it just like, why are we getting this moment? I don't need this moment. It's the same thing you've been saying
Again,
over and over, except for May doing the menacing look at the end, right?
yeah. I'm hoping all of this saying the same thing over and over with May and Chimere is slapping us in the face that this Sith Lord
I
is
hope you're
Chimere,
right.
but it's really not Chimere. And it's
I
making
hope
us
you're right.
expect that, and then maybe we'll get pleasantly
That would be
surprised next
dope
week.
if we get a moment where, like, we see Chimere all hung up and the stranger just gets him, that'd be
Yeah,
sick. That made me so I will retract my dumbness of these moments if that
sure.
happens.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But again, it just just to
Okay.
sum it up, like, eh.
All right, well, let's keep going. The Jedi have lost Basil, and suddenly everyone in the forest hears May screaming for help. Chimere begins running toward May, and he steps into a rope trap set up by May. May shares she had a realization as they were walking through the forest. She doesn't need to kill a Jedi without a weapon, and she doesn't need to keep this deal. She believes Osha being alive changes everything. May's loyalty is to Osha, not Chimere's master. May shares she is going to surrender herself to Kelnaka and then turn herself into the Jedi. Chimere says the Jedi will put her in prison, but May believes they won't after she shares with them who she knows. Chimere says he will kill her, but May believes he will struggle to find her without a guide. May then leaves Chimere hanging there. So yeah, you're right, 100%. We're
Taylor,
we're set up for May to be redeemed. We are set up for
why?
May to be redeemed at this point.
I was physically angry at this point, okay? I almost just threw my iPad into the roof. Alright,
Oh
to be fair, I was
no.
watching this one on my iPad because my wife is watching Bridgerton.
Oh, my
She's
wife's
she's
watching
off.
it too.
She's off Acolyte. She's off
She
on
okay.
this she's watching Bridgerton, more important. So, I hate this moment. Why?
Mm,
Why? We just saw how evil you are. You killed Jedi. You tried to kill your sister multiple times.
yeah.
And now you're giving up everything that you've built
Mhm.
to find your sister, I guess? I now
Well,
look,
to her perspective, she's always believed that Osha's dead, correct?
I I'm assuming so.
Because in episode 2, she's surprised to see that Osha's alive because she's like,
Ye
"Oshi?" And she's crying.
yes, because when she goes to the tree, she's not there, right?
Right,
So she
right.
assumes
So
she's
maybe
dead.
she's always believed that the Jedi were behind it, and now that Osha's alive, she's no longer mad
No,
at the Jedi.
but before the Jedi even got involved, she's trying to murk her. She's evil, and now she's not evil.
Yeah.
I hate this turn. I hate it. I hate it more than Ben Solo. I hate it, dude.
The
Why? Just be bad.
okay, let me maybe give a I agree with you. First of all, I
All
agree
right,
with you because
walk me off the ledge.
I've said over and over again, redemption is not what I want to see. If that's truly what they're going for, I won't be happy with you. But I will say, in a
Mhm.
positive light, at least, we have 4 more episodes, and maybe we will actually have an awesome villain the rest of the way with the stranger to focus on.
I hope.
That would be the
I
only thing
hope.
that makes me happy is we focus on the dude the rest of
But
the way.
it's still gonna if Osha and May team up to take down the stranger, I will be more disappointed than any show this year, I
It's got to
think.
be Soul that does it, right?
I don't know. Like
But it
May's
wouldn't
gotta
make
die,
sense because I
right?
feel like it's very obvious that this story's about OSHA and May.
Like
Heck,
man, I
they've
just
released a freaking a song,
yeah,
Power of
true,
Two, and it's supposed to be
true.
the end
Like
credit
I
song.
just I think I just very much hated this moment because I hate this redemption bullcrap. It's the Acolyte. It's supposed to be the dark Sith, evil grin. It's supposed to be the bad, ooh,
Yeah,
we're getting the Sith.
yeah.
So at least in this moment in episode 4, I very much hated this decision.
Okay.
This
L-
whole, I'm gonna go find Osha now. She's alive. I am good. I just
Yeah,
killed 2 Jedi. I'm good. And
yeah.
you might say, oh, well, Darth Vader, genocided a bunch of people. I'm still right there with you. I don't know if he should be redeemed just by, oh, son, I love you. Um, but but
Mm.
but I'm trying to like one to one it here, this
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah, yeah,
redemption thing.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, do all your past
Well,
sins make
okay.
you irredeemable? No. But
It's
if you give me the perspective, give me the writing here. Don't just go like, oh,
for me, it's not the concept of realizing that you've made mistakes, basically asking for forgiveness for it and being redeemed for it. Like that's a beautiful story to me. Don't get me wrong. My problem is we do that in every single show.
oh yes. So,
That's why
all
I
right,
don't
yes,
want that's why
yes.
I don't want the redemption arc because I'm somebody that, for me personally, I in the past I definitely made so many mistakes and I'm so glad that I've kind of moved on for those mistakes and I definitely feel like I'm in a better position in my life. So I love that redemption story, but it's just every single Star Wars show or
That's my point.
movie is
So I'm so
telling that
glad you
story.
said that because I got to make that clear. That's my point. I don't hate a redemption story if done correctly,
Yeah.
but when it's every single Jedi Sith thing in Star Wars,
Yeah.
that's the issue I have.
Yeah.
And I think I'm still just salty that they made Kylo Ren good. They should have never done that. That's the
Mm.
biggest one. Actually, I take it back. That's the biggest one now that I think about it. So much potential there, man.
Yeah, there was.
God.
There was.
Like this is nothing on that. But I think I just got so mad because this episode was trash to me. The writing was bad, and then she
Mm.
drops this on us. Oh, all of a sudden I want to give up my entire life now and find my sister. And I know this dude's gonna hunt me down. He can't find me in this place. He can't find you. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering too if it'll land better for me if somehow the stranger doesn't let May live next week.
I think she has to die. I think maybe both of them have to die. I don't know if I don't think we'll get that, but I'm saying like
But
something
if
bad's got to happen here.
if May dies, and because we have that power of two season in credit scene move or song rather, I would have to assume that May communicates to Osha in the afterlife, and that will be whatever, I guess.
I'm already sleeping. I hope that ain't real, dude. I just I'm afraid what's
Like a
happening
voice, like a conscience
is
inside of her, not a force ghost or anything like that. But
yeah. Well, we already know they have like a connection. She saw her when she
sure,
crashed, right?
yeah,
We know
yeah,
they have some sort of weird, but that wasn't a force connection because they didn't know they were alive, right? That was just a
true,
moment where she's
true,
reliving history, I guess.
yeah,
I don't know what that was, but
dang,
yeah, going back to this moment, I just very much made me mad. I was like, "Oh no, I thought we were finally getting a bad person who wants to be bad
yeah,
in like a good way, like the good villains always think they're the hero, that
uh
type
huh.
of situation. And no, no,
Yeah, again, on a positive outlook, I'm hopeful that it just gives us an opportunity to have 4 episodes of a true, real, good, great villain with the stranger. We can
they're gonna
focus
have to
focus
really
on him the
work
rest of the way.
to make the stranger good, and
But
he's got to be legit.
if it's Chimera, we're off to a rocky start already.
We're already, dude. Like, what? Gosh, I
All
just
right.
so disappointed in this this
Yeah.
this moment.
Yeah.
It's worst case scenario for me at this
Okay.
point. Terrible writing, and then you drop you want to be redeemed. Ah,
Yeah.
why? Go ahead.
I'm hopeful. I'm still hopeful that there's somehow an angle to it that May is in fact still bad somehow, but I don't know.
Maybe that's why I'm not as hopeful because I don't see how you could do that after
Yeah.
what I just watched.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Okay, let's keep going. And this part's weird for me. Soul comes upon something in the forest and seems to sense something. I didn't for me, I was thinking, is this where Chimera was hanging and now he's gone? Like
Oh
maybe
no, I
that's what
I
he's
got this as he senses the stranger easily.
oh, okay.
Like that's exactly
So
how I read this.
okay. Okay. So it's just sensing a presence, not necessarily that that's where Chimera was or anything.
And you got to remember, like he's never felt a Sith before,
True.
at least to our knowledge. So he doesn't know.
Right.
I don't know what a Sith feels like in Force, but it's
Sure.
got to be different. Like, whoa, what is this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
and then we have
that's what I
this
picked up.
then we have this conversation for like the third or fourth time where Osha shares she feels different this time and can face May. You're cracking me up every time I read something that you don't like. You're making me laugh. The
I'm trying to
people
get
that
the
are on
YouTube.
podcasts,
Yeah,
people
I'm
that
trying
are
to
on
get the you.
podcasts are clueless.
Yeah, if you're
Every
on
time I'm
YouTube,
talking, I
you
start
know
chuckling. Just
I'm
know that
just
Zach is making a
I'm
facial
I'm
expression.
head in my hands when he's doing this. Okay,
All
I'm
right.
trying to
Anyway,
I'm trying to give y'all a visual of what it's like me
sure,
watching this
sure,
episode
sure.
here.
Where was I? Soul says she is not going to face May. Here we go, but is going to face her past, and he is also going to be facing his past. Soul also says once they get May to the ship safely, he will explain everything. I like that tease, at least. I will say that. Maybe Soul's actually going to come clean and tell everything that actually transpired there on Brendock, but that's going to be more exposition dump next week, I guess.
It better be visual, is what it better be, my guy. Like, better
Yeah,
not
it needs
freaking
to be.
expedite
It needs to be.
like, "So, why you hold this right now? Why don't you just tell us?
Yeah.
Just tell us."
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
But
Okay.
but it does make me feel better knowing there is more. Like, we are right. We've been speculating, but there is more. Like,
Mhm.
that's what this is telling us. I
Oh,
did like
100%.
that we are correct there's more to this story, and it
Definitely.
hopefully, not that I want dark stuff, but hopefully it's
Oh
something
gosh.
bad.
I'm gonna be extremely livid though if next week we do another flashback episode and we're not fighting the stranger. If we are not fighting the stranger and addressing who that stranger is next
Oh,
week, I'm
dude.
gonna be livid.
Uh, uh, yeah, y'all thought I was bad on this episode.
All right, let's keep going. May makes it to Kelnaka's camp where she sees Basil. Basil begins roaring that he has found May, rather. Yord orders Osha to stay behind them. May makes it inside Kelnaka's home where Kelnaka, and I like the music turn here. It was very subtle, but very Sith
Agreed.
like in the background.
Very eerie.
Yes,
Very eerie.
eerie. There you go. That's the word. Kelnaka has already been killed clearly by a lightsaber. May realizes the master is there. The Jedi begin ordering anyone in the homestead to come out. Suddenly, Soul senses something behind them, slowly turns. Behind May, you can kind of see, or not behind May, behind Osha, you can kind of see the stranger like floating down, like almost like it kind of looks
Oh, is
like
that
he's
what he was doing?
levitating almost. It didn't
Oh, I
necessarily
didn't
look like he
see.
was walking. It looks more like a levitation or
Ooh.
de-levitation, I guess. I need to rewatch it, but it
I gotta
definitely
rewatch
I got
that.
chills whenever I saw it
I
behind her.
didn't see the levitating. I
I
saw
give
like the figure, but
yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down in the
I
comments.
mean, either way, it was a cool moment. This was
Yeah.
sick. As to your point, just to recap this, I'm leaned up.
Yeah, I'm
Twitter
I'm
down
locked
now.
in at this point. I'm
Twitter
locked.
down. I knew exactly what was about to happen. She's
Yeah.
gonna walk in, he's gonna be dead, stranger's there. I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm eye rolling still. But then, like you said, the music was great,
Yeah.
and we get the visual of him in the background.
Ooh,
I
that was
liked
cool.
I liked it.
I also wanted to point out another detail. Whenever May says he's here, suddenly all around behind her, I don't know if you noticed, it got black.
It Force
Oh,
Awakens,
that was so
right?
good. That was good. So great.
Little on the nose,
Oh man, come on. I
but it
loved
was
it.
great. It
Yeah,
was
I
great.
loved it.
No,
I
it
loved it.
was great. I think that that whole composition of music, scenery, move to the shot of him in the background, that was great.
Yeah, the way that Soul slowly turns around and again the music, it's done well. Then the stranger walks toward Osha. The stranger ignites his lightsaber. Soul orders Osha to run as they run toward the stranger. The stranger pushes Osha out of the way and then pushes all of the Jedi. And I'm so locked. I'm so engaged. I'm
All
so
right.
hyped. I'm like, let's go. And that's the freaking episode. And I was
Okay.
very upset with that being the ending because we have seen that shot in every single promotional material that they have dropped. So that being the cliffhanger left me mad yet again. You had just gotten me back. You had just gotten me hyped up
Dude,
and being like, okay, here we go. We're getting our dark side show, baby, into the episode. And I was like, what are we doing?
when I tell you I audibly went, "Are you kidding me?" I was speechless that
Yeah,
that's how we ended the
yeah.
episode.
It was
Um,
disappointing.
and just I'm not nitpicking here. This is a actual visual thing that happened. It did look like he stabbed OSHA, okay? Just because of the way it was shot. He like he
Oh,
like, I didn't
did
think he
he?
did.
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't think he
I was
did.
about
I
to
didn't
say I
think he
didn't think he
did. Just
did.
the way they shot it, he like ignites it. It kind of looks like the, Han Solo situation. But why the heck did he not just kill OSHA?
It's a good question.
Stupid, my friend. Why would he not cut her down right there?
Hmm,
She's wide open. Plus, all the Jedi just leave her hanging.
yeah.
She's out in the back. Soul don't move a muscle. He's just like watching. Oh, hey, that dude's up on you with
Well,
a freaking red
he tells her
lightsaber.
he tells her to run.
He tells her to run. What's that do? Running ain't doing
I
nothing,
will
my
say
guy.
there's been 3 episodes of Soul showing that he can grab somebody and pull them. He should have grabbed Osha and
That's my
pulled toward him.
point. Is like, what? Why didn't the stranger kill her? And
Yeah,
because he would know that's May's issue, right?
right.
Merc OSHA, get her out, or Soul amazingly like force pull her back and be
Yeah,
like behind me, and then be sick.
sure. Yeah, that would have been
But
cool.
we didn't get that. The freaking stranger goes, "Eh, I can't kill you because you're the freaking lead. Phew,
Well, maybe he has a
killer." Dope.
design plan for
Don't
OSHA.
you dare try to save that one. That was crazy to me.
But what
That
if he
this
like
big bad dude, why did I don't
what
know.
if his
I don't
goal
know.
is to
Maybe you're
like
right. Maybe you're
imprison
right.
OSHA and May both?
Maybe you're right.
Maybe he like
I
knocks
like
all the
that.
Jedi unconscious and he takes both May and OSHA out of there.
I'm in. I
And
like that. I
we
hope
have
that's the reason.
some, but again, that leads down the road of May's being redeemed because at that point OSHA and May will have the same goal of getting the heck away
So
from him.
but I think it would go into your point of having a good villain who is just bad,
Sure. Yeah.
right? Like, I think I actually hope that's what happens. I hope all the Jedi get murked, and I hope he takes them too. That'd be sick. And he'll be like, "I know how you were created. I need the power of 2 to complete the Sith," or
Mm.
whatever. Like, "You were created using this Sith holocron." I'm just saying Star Wars words. Um, and and I need your magic. Like, I hope that's what
Maybe.
happened. I
Yeah.
think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
And it would redeem the whole what I just said where, why didn't he just
Sure.
go, "Meow?"
Yeah.
Uh, because she's the issue with May's problem.
Well, I
Like,
think there's a possibility that the Sith. Okay, so first of all, it's very right now they've got it very pinned and obvious that it's got to be Chimere. But I'm just throwing this out there that you could see a gap in the helmet, and they very much so had a yellow eye. Chimere does not have a yellow eye, so I'm wondering if it's the mother from the witches that did have kind of that yellowy looking eye. I don't know if she in fact does, but I know it's
you're
possible, I
right.
guess.
I know
Um,
people have been
and that
speculating
would
that.
be the motive to keeping OSHA alive because I mean, she carried both of them. Like she doesn't want to kill either of them.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get worked up on that point.
What was
Like,
her name again?
I thought that was dumb. I was like, "Dude, why did you just, why did you do that?" But that happens a lot in
Coral.
Star Wars, to me.
Coral's the name.
Like, going back to Star Wars, Fallen Order, if you've ever played that.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoiler alert for that game, okay? It's old now, but Darth Vader's in it,
Yeah.
alright? And at one point, he literally just murks this lady. Like,
Yep.
he walks up to one of his accomplices, murks her
Mm-hmm.
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Then, who is the enemy? He does not murk. He just force pushes her off the side of this thing, which we know doesn't kill people in Star Wars, especially Force users. That has always rubbed me the wrong way. I think that's why I noticed it here. So I had to give kind of context of why this stuck out to me. I was like, dude, why didn't you just kill her? But I get it. And I never got to say this. I think the dialogue mixed with the cliffhanger, which did not work for me,
Yeah, the
very anger
cliffhanger didn't work.
inducing, and the what happened in this episode are my biggest faults here. Like, nothing happened in 30 minutes. Nothing. We could have gotten a panned in shot of Kelnaka being killed, and we're right into it.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, I didn't need anything. Maybe you throw the high council thing in there. I think that's important to know that they're
Mm-hmm.
sweeping it under the rug. But other than that, literally other than that, nothing of importance happened here, in my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's why I get so mad because it's like, man, nothing. I wasted 30 minutes of my life on this when this episode could have literally been 5 minutes. It could have been
Yeah.
wrapped up in 5 minutes. Like, give me 5 minutes of this and then don't make me wait. I think, all right, I'm going to say something blasphemous here. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
I think we got to go back to the movie model.
For Star Wars,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
movies only.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we might be there.
Well, and not that I haven't liked the shows. If you're going to keep doing shows, you got to do them like actual TV shows.
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour, 8 minutes or sorry, 8 episodes minimum,
Mm.
and we got to get more meat on this bone. Because if this is what we're getting for an episode, like, this is a preface to a book. Like, this is when you open a book and you read the like, oh, here's the, about the author or whatever. That's this. Like, this had nothing to do with I just so mad, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in this episode. It
No.
was such a waste of time to me. The dialogue was horrible. The you know the motivations just don't make sense to me. Why is
Yeah.
May giving it up? Her whole life, she's been trying to kill the chick. They get separated, and now she wants to give up her life of evil to get with her
Mm.
sister.
Mhm. Mhm.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I'm on
Kymere
alert.
being an absolute doofus,
Mhm.
laying it on thick. That didn't work for me.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm hoping that's a
And
bait and switch.
And
Really
and
hoping.
and you've brought to you I wanna commend you. You've brought up some good points that can redeem this stuff, right? It's
Mhm.
the nature of dropping it weekly and not binging it, where we
Sure.
can discuss this, and
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, I might go, "Oh, dude, Chimere's a bait and switch. The stranger is sick. May is good, but it's actually working now because the stranger's so bad." Like, I may have to eat these words, and I hope I do, but at this moment, after watching this episode, I'm just very disappointed in it.
Mm. That's fair. That's fair.
What are your kind of sum up thoughts here?
Well, one of the things that had kinda crossed my mind as you were talking there, and I'm trying to mentally work through this.
I know I
I'm go
rambled a while there,
No, no, no,
sorry.
no, 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 no. You're good. You're good. I'm going back to Kiadi Mundi. Isn't he the guy in The Phantom Menace that said the Sith have been extinct for over a millennium or for 1,000 years?
Shoot, my guy, I don't know, I ain't your guy for that. While you're
I'm pretty
thinking and
sure he did.
talking, let me
I'm
Google it.
pretty
Have you
sure he
Googled it
did.
yet?
I don't think I need to Google it. I'm pretty I have a feeling I have a feeling he's the guy that said it. So
Okay,
how is he here? How is he how is he in that meeting where he's very aware of May having a master that knows the Force? Because
and he even
Vernestra in the
says,
meetings.
"This girl could become a major threat." He literally says that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. In the meeting, Vernestra says her master was one of our own. So clearly, the master knows the Force, and if they're doing dark side stuff, how would the Sith not be around for over a millennium? And then I don't know. I'm going back to that. I don't like Kiadi Mundi being in the show because
Hmm,
now the concern, because everybody, that was one of the concerns people were talking about before the series started, was Kiadi Mundi said, Sith haven't been around for 1,000 years or whatever the dialogue was. So how are they going to explain that to where the High Council, to where the Jedi Council don't know about these dark side users in this show? But now you've put the dude that said it in the forefront in the meeting room, knowing that there's this dark side force out there.
again, remember, they don't ever say the word Sith,
That's
so
true. That's true. But if you're he's aware then in the Phantom Menace when he says the Sith have been extinct for over 1,000 years or over a millennium, whatever he says.
for a millennia. He does say it. Kiandi
He's
Mundi says
aware
this.
then in the back of his mind. Oh crap! There was this twin who had a master and she was killing Jedi. If you're killing Jedi and you're using the Force in doing so, I mean, how loosely are we defining the term Sith at that point? Like,
Yeah.
that's not working for me now that I'm thinking about it at all.
Dang.
That's not working at
How
all.
dare you think about this?
He would be the
Yeah, dude,
last guy to have in the room because now that really makes his dialogue in Phantom Menace not work for me. And I mean, it's always worked for me
what
in the
he
Phantom Menace.
what
It's
and
not
he was
working for me
also
that
the
he's
one
in.
eavesdropping, right? He was the one eavesdropping,
Yeah, he
correct?
was him and the other chick.
And
Yeah,
they had to have picked him for a purpose because he's the one that says that. That's the only thing I can think. And I'm giving the writers a lot the writers I've been chirping, I'm giving them a lot of benefit of the doubt here. But why would you pick the guy who said that phrase
yeah.
to be in your show? There's got to be a purpose.
Is the
Got to be.
purpose to make him part of the whole cover up that this story is too? Like he's even bluffing in that scene in the Jedi
Or maybe
Council,
he or maybe we get some sort of resolution that he believes that it is dead. There is no there's
or
the
he
Sith aren't
believes
a
that this
thing.
was never a Sith
That's
problem.
what I mean. Maybe we get a moment where it's like confirmed to him this was not Sith. That's why he's confident in saying they've
Gosh,
been gone for a millennia.
there's just no need for even playing around with it, man. There's no need.
But do you agree though that
Yeah, I
they
see
had
that
to have
angle.
picked They had to have picked him for a
I
reason
see
in
that
this.
angle, but as a creative, why are you going down that path when you know you have diehard fans that hold on to every single piece of dialogue in this franchise?
What
Why
I'm
would you
saying is
play with
maybe
that?
they knew they were gonna be, "Oh, well, they said the Sith was blah, blah, blah." So they're like, "All right, well, we get the boy who said it in our show."
Dang.
I don't know. I'm trying to be positive here. I'm being your positive light in this situation.
Yeah, I guess you
I
are.
don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because
But yeah,
to your point, lot of episodes left. We're only halfway, right?
we got 4 more, and we need a lot of explanation at this
I
point.
mean, and I don't know of anything else we've seen in the trailers because they've pretty much laid it on thick that everything in these first 4 episodes are what were in the freaking trailers. There's little snippets here and there,
There's a few things.
but nothing of what the heck is gonna happen next. I will say
Yeah,
that. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I really don't. I have no idea because
yeah.
nothing happened in this episode.
Well, I started our pod recording here slightly optimistic.
I'm
But,
sorry I brought
no,
you
no, no, no,
down.
no, 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 no. I think everything you've brought up is legit. I think as we talk through because and I told you this before we recorded. For me, it's kinda hard to pick up on, like, if dialogue or pace or things like that in an
Right,
episode are
right.
working because I'm so focused on
You're
typing out notes and getting
yeah.
things ready for the show. But now that we've kinda talked through it, yeah, the dialogue was 100% weak in this episode. Um, Now that I've had this realization about Kiadi Mundi, like, that is really bothering me to where I'm to the point where I'm viewing this thing as a 5 out of 10. And I don't think I've ever given a show that low of a rating, ever.
I I'm debating 4 or 5. I've been thinking about this the whole episode, dude. I almost don't wanna give it a 5 because that's, like, too positive for me. I don't even wanna be
There's
in
redeeming
the top half
qualities
of it.
in it, though, that make me say, "Okay, this is 50-50." Dang
Mm.
it. Dang it.
See, like, it
I'm
wasn't
not loving this
50-50 for
feeling.
me.
I'm not
That's
loving
what
this
I'm saying,
feeling.
like,
Yeah,
I'm going back between 4 and 5. It's
I think you're
like,
on the back end
it
of the
was
50.
not 50-50. It was like like 10-90 here. But
Yeah,
some of the things we talked about are redeeming and cool to me. The High Council thing, that discussion was good dialogue, actually.
sure.
Um, I liked seeing Venestra, that little interaction with Saul, but pretty much everything else except for the last, what, 10 seconds of a
Mm.
30-minute episode was snooze fest for
Yeah, the
me.
last 3 minutes was great. Um,
I'm still pissed we didn't get Kalnaka. He just gets murked. They don't have him do anything. That's such a cool character, a Jedi
yeah, that's true.
Wookiee.
Well, that's one thing we have seen in promotion that we haven't gotten is a
True.
flashback with him fighting
He
Corbin.
I better see him doing some cool stuff and talking Wookiee. What's the language?
Shiruk.
Tyrook. I want to see some
Shiri
Tyrook.
Wook? I don't know.
I want to see that because that's so cool. I just think Wookiees are so dope. Everybody loves Wookiees, dude. Come on. And then we got to
Yeah,
see one get marked here. That's fine. I just had no. I didn't care. I was like, oh, he got killed. Oof.
dang it. I'm not loving
Yikes.
this feeling that I'm having at the moment.
So that's how I've been feeling since I watched it, dude. And I didn't mean to bring you down with me, but
No, no, no,
man,
no. You're good. I think it's a
I just
realization that I need to have that maybe
again, just this episode. I got to throw it out there. Just this episode. The other episodes really worked for me.
yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. There it is.
We need that eerie music going on in the background here. Cause man,
I'm feeling eerie.
I wanna know what everybody. If you're listening
Yeah, let
still,
us
first
know.
of all, you're an OG. We appreciate you. But let us know what you feel on this episode. Do
Well,
you agree with me? Do you agree with Keller? Do you think it was great? I've seen people on Twitter. This is my favorite of the 4. I can't wait for you to see it.
no shot.
Who in the press thought this was the best episode of the 4? You're crazy if you thought this was the best of the 4.
Hey, maybe we've got listeners that think this is the best of the 4. And if
All
you
right.
you think that,
Sorry
let
I
us
called you
know.
crazy. You might be crazy though. I don't know. Because that's crazy.
uh, we're all slightly crazy in our own ways.
Especially us Star Wars
I
folk. We all
guarantee
crazy.
you, though, there's probably somebody that was listening throughout this whole pod, or not listening rather, and they got to us talking about Kiadi and not bringing up the massive problem that is, and they're like, "No, these dudes don't
Yeah.
know Star Wars."
I mean, knowing Star Wars people, yeah, probably. There's a guy out there we pissed off
But
with
we
that.
got to that realization.
Yeah, and you did. Not me. You the guy for that.
Oh man.
You know your lore. Come on. And you know your
Anyway,
random lines from a movie from like 25 years ago.
yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, yeah, easily a 5 out of 10 for me. That's really going to bring the average down for the show. I think I was
Yeah, I'm
already
at a
the average so far that I've been posting these on Twitter has been it's been
yeah.
like a 7.8 out of 10. It's going to take a massive drop this week, folks.
Well, yeah, I'm
Massive
at a
drop.
4.
Mm,
So, yeah.
mm.
But
All right,
so
man. Well,
thanks for listening, everybody.
yeah, there's our
I
breakdown.
really this is very therapeutic for me.
Yeah, I don't look. I'll say this: this week online is going to be a hot mess, folks.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here's my opinion on it. Do not engage. Wait for the rest of the show to come out. Do not fully give up on it. Hopefully,
Yes.
these problems that we have with it will be addressed, and hopefully, we feel better about it. But as it sits, as we are finishing this podcast tonight and this week for the Acolyte, I 100% am not feeling as optimistic as I had been at all in the slightest. And I think that kind of sums up tonight's show, this week's show. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, for supporting. We are not giving up. We will be covering episode 5 next week, talking about it together, talking about it with you guys, and I'm hoping we get some answers. And I'm hoping somehow it's not Chimera. Oh no. All right, Zach, any final words?
Nah, just I appreciate you guys listening and yeah, this do not give up on the show. If
Yeah,
you're enjoying the show, keep watching it. If you're not
absolutely.
enjoying the show and you're watching this deep, shout out to you, first of all. But like I don't know. I just don't give up on it yet. I've been trying to say it over and over. This is one episode
Mm-hmm.
that it slipped. Okay. Now there are things in this episode that could lead to even bigger issues for me.
Sure.
And I think that's what's at the forefront of my mind. But I'm gonna walk in Tuesday of next week and just be open minded and see what happens. And hopefully it can redeem itself a little bit.
Absolutely. All right. Well, in the meantime, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Mando Talk. Hit the subscribe buttons on whatever podcast platform you are listening to. We're mainly on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but also we are on YouTube if you would love to see all of our facial expressions and Zach's head in hand expressions. His
Bald head now too, if you haven't been watching.
Yeah, it makes a slight sound effect now.
Oh, does it?
No, I'm messing with you.
Oh, I hear it in my own head where it
That's
goes.
hilarious. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well for all those extra bits of content with the podcast episode, but also for YouTube shorts. We do a lot of short videos as well, trying to keep the engagement going. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. And until then, as always, we have spoken.